Hi, this is Eric Van Clive with the Boathouse here in Naples, Florida, here with Boathouse University to show off some of the great features that you get within your sonar. Whether you're out fishing for the day or you just want to see what's underneath you, this is a great way to be able to get a clear scope of what is in the water and what you're casting for. So here we are on a Sportsman 261 Heritage with the Garmin 8612 XSV, and it's going to be mounted into a through-hole transducer. Now, depending on what you have for a transducer, some of your screens might be a little bit different than what we have here today. But we'll start off with the basic that everyone has, which is going to be your traditional sonar. Now, as you downscan, you're going to see that you have all these different like Nike swooshes. They look like confetti. These are going to be schools of fish that are up on the seabed. As you go into the red part, that's going to be what you have for your sandy bottom, as well as points below. And anything that is in a deep red is going to be some other organic or inorganic material that's going to be harder than what you find in a fish's body. So how do we know what we're actually looking at? There's a few different things that Garmin has available to us through their transducers that give you maybe a clearer scope. So I'm going to go over to my clear view screen. This is going to make things way more apparent of what you're looking at. Again, kind of the confetti of what you're seeing here. Some of it might be seagrass, small schools of fish, but you can see that this is going to be all grass that's coming up, different underwater plants, coral, what have you. And this gives you a really good idea of what you're looking at within your traditional screen. Now, let's say we want to take a look at maybe something that's coming up, what we're going to be looking at next. Let's go ahead and switch over to our live scope, which is going to give us an image based off the front of our boat and what we're running into. So this would be like looking at the bottom of an oil rig or something like that. It'll also pull up like shipwrecks underneath you if you have any reefs, a school bus for instance. You have quite a few options that will show up depending on where you're at in the world today. Now, let's go ahead and say we want to see it in a traditional format. We can do that within the front view, which this is going to be our sandy bottom in front of us. And if you have any kind of fish that pop up, they would be like a little Nike swoosh that's on top of that. If I go into another good view, commonly used is going to be our side view. Let's say you're trolling for the day, or maybe you've stopped and you don't know which side of the boat you want to cast out of. This gives us a nice top-down view where the center line is going to be the keel of your boat. And everything that you see on either side is going to be a live image of what you're going across. Again, this little bit of confetti are going to be little schools of fish with a good clear image of what's going to be on the bottom. Imagine these are tilted down for your traditional view, but split apart so you know which side of the boat you're going to. As we go back over to our traditional screen, let's talk a little bit about how you can control what you've got for your frequencies, depths, and settings. So as with every feature in screen that you get in your Garmin, we can go ahead and hit options. First thing we can do is go to our gain, and this typically we would leave on an auto, but if you want to get a clearer image, you can turn that up, and that's going to give you quite a bit more of anything that's floating in the water below you. Or if we want to take out the clutter, we can lower that down, and now we know for sure, okay, these are fish that are floating, and that's going to be some kind of organic material that's on the seafloor. I'm going to go ahead and put it back onto auto medium, which is going to be your most common that you're using to be able to pick up what you're looking at below you. Beyond that, you have different frequencies that you can use, and there's a nice wide range that's available to you. They give you two standards, which is going to be 180 kilohertz, or you can go into the high chirp, or you can manage frequencies by putting in a new preset. You can see with this transducer, I have a range of anything from 140 to 240 kilohertz. Let's say I want to go with a low frequency. Let's go ahead and put it in at 140, the base. Hit done, and it's already going to be set up. Go back, and now I can go into the frequency, tap there, and it's going to give me a low frequency transmission. Other things that you can do is you can also change the depth settings that it's going to read down to. So instead of going to auto, I can have it at 32 foot, or I can go plus or minus on these screens to give me a different base level I'm looking at. So if you are in super deep water and say it's 2,000 foot of water, you only want to see what's 200 feet below you, you can go into options. We can go to our range, and we can change that to see only 200 feet down. Now, if you're in 25 foot of water, it's going to scrunch it down, but if you're in 2,000, it's going to be a clear image down to 220 feet. Other than that, you do have different zooms that you can use, overlays that you can put onto the screen, which we will go into in another video. Other great features that you will get out of your transducer, it's always going to have the depth up in the top left, your temperature of the water below you, if you're moving at speed, voltage of your house battery, and what time of day it is. So again, this has been Derek Van Clive with the Boathouse here in Naples, Florida, going over some of the sonar functionality that you do get within your Garmin 8612 XSV. And as you know, some of those things might change depending on your transducer that you have hooked to your screen. But if you have any further questions about what we just went over today, or you want a little bit more insight into what's possible within your sonars, please leave a comment below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. So thank you again for stopping by Boathouse University. We look forward to seeing you on the water.